So, what was it? A couple nights ago, I finished up, reading Grit. It was a pretty good book. There's a lot that I thought could be applied from it. And it kind of got me excited while at the same time worried. Because with picking tomatoes, it's kind of picked up now. And some of the kids didn't quite pull through and pick as well as they could have. And they don't seem to have that pride in what they do or what they pick. Like, you look at these grapes here that are coming in. Look how plump and juicy they are. I mean, in order to get those, you kind of have to work and stick with it for a bit in order to be able to see those results. And for the first week of picking tomatoes, it was kind of like a drag, because when it takes you like 4 hours to get 10 boxes, that can be kind of feel like a lot of a drag. Whereas maybe, but if you stick through it, it becomes a lot easier to, as you move forward. But I don't know how I put it. It's interesting because now that I've seen more kids kind of come out and pick after the tomatoes picked up. And so in Grit, Angela Duckworth mentions West Point. And West Point has this part of training that every cadet basically goes through. That's kind of the sifting, and it's known as Beast. And it's basically the hardest few weeks that they go through in their whole training career, other than maybe if they're going on to special forces and things like that. They're basically pushed to their limits. And in comparison, that week of tomato picking is kind of the same way, except for the fact that the kids are able to come back later on when it's good. And the important part that I'm kind of dragging on about, why I'm explaining this, is because you can't always expect it to go easy. You can find good spots, but that still takes time in order to find those good spots so that you can have it easier. But you still have to be willing to go through the effort and be gritty enough to go through those hard parts and portions in order to be able to work yourself so that you can be better the next time. Because someone that basically sticks it through that week of hard picking where it's slow will turn out the better in the next week when it gets better. So I went from like 10 boxes a day last week to now doing like 20 boxes a day and even 25 today in about the same period of time. And some of them just seem to give up on it a little too soon, and it's kind of sad. But it's just like the last 2.5 years of me working with Twitch on streaming and stuff. Not everyone can stand the fact that they could go 2.5 years of almost feeling like there's nobody watching. And I know I've had those points where it's been really high and really exciting. And those are kind of the parts that I've really enjoyed. But it can be hard to kind of drag through when it feels like no one's there. No one's talking in chat, or no one's watching. You don't know if someone's actually there or whatnot, because some of them kind of stay silent and just watch. But at the same time, it's kind of that looking forward grit that kind of keeps you going, or keeps me going at least. That it's more than just, oh, I'm looking to make money. There's a purpose behind it. And I know that I feel that as I push forward and try to fulfill that purpose, then eventually the other monetary part will come. I mean, I've got that little trickle of monetary reward coming right now, but some people might say, well, it's just not enough. It's just not good enough. But at the same time, it's like, well, for now, it's like I've worked for a good year and a half without it, and now I'm getting something on the regular now. Is that not something to work towards and grow? That's one little bit of success. That I get to be proud of. And if I've got that one little trickle, you know what they say about leaks. If you've got a leak in your pipes, you better patch it. Well, this is a leak that I want to explode out and grow, so that later on down the road it can be even bigger. And there are projects that I'm working on right now that I haven't quite I kind of started last night, the other night, and I really got a foothold on it last night, and I've been kind of looking at that. I need to figure some things out, but that hopefully should embolden that even more, because I know not everyone likes Discord, but then there are a number of people that don't like the major web services that there are. So that's dropping hints right there of what some of it is. But yeah, it's kind of that you have that risk and reward, but just even like in edgy conversations, just talking about having the fortitude to be able to actually, having the fortitude to be able to actually push through and live in extreme behavior, and to do something that maybe a lot of other people wouldn't do, and go and do things that a lot of people may not know how to do, or there are hurdles to go through, and really getting in that hustle, then that's where success can come. I've talked with a number of people that have immigrated to the US, and they talk about that, like especially those that have come legally. They're proud of the path that they took. They went through the legal process, and they don't understand how anyone else could do it. In spite of everyone, a lot of people right now saying that the US is a crap hole country, a lot of people are still coming. And so there's still that air of opportunity that people see, and so they still try and put in for their immigration and stuff, and they still try and come, because there's a possibility that they could make it. And so the one thing that'll determine whether they can make it is that grit, that ability to push forward. So that's kind of really the big deal. Is it's kind of sad that some of these kids don't have grit, and a lot of these people, they're out there screaming, don't have it either. They went through college and whatnot, but they lack that one component of grit and being able to stick to it, and so they argue for the free stuff. And in spite of You can go to other countries where they still have slaves in the Middle East and Africa and things like that. You can go to, or even China actually, where they've got their work camps and things like that. And the only people that get by are the people that couch off to the party. But here, it's been much different for many years, where in spite of large corporations pushing you down, you can still find a way to make it. I mean, you look at Gab being pushed down, and Andrew Torba being banned from Visa, and Visa canceling everything, his bank canceling things, or Laura Loomer getting basically censored by Comcast and told she can't send campaign emails and things like that. And they're still making it, and they're still pushing, because this is America and we're the greatest country, and it takes grit in order to build that and to hustle against all the barriers that are in your way. So when I see these kids that can't even stand a week of slow tomato picking, it kind of makes me wonder whether they're actually going to be able to make it. But yeah, hope you like the walk.